Hello, friends. There was a village named Kolhapur, which is in India. This village had one rule, one law that everyone had to follow. Never go near the old well after the sun sets. Everybody followed this law, but there was one boy named Rafi who was only 17 years old, but he was very naughty and stubborn. He used to make fun of the elders of the village for believing in superstitions. He would say, "It's just a well. Why are we so afraid of it?" But nobody paid any attention to him. All they did was warn him about going near the well after dark. One night, there was a blood moon, and this blood moon brought with it a lot of excitement for Rafi. After all, such a moon appears once every 2 years. So when everybody in the village was asleep and the streets were empty, Rafi decided to break the rules. He slipped out of his house at 11:47 p.m. with a cricket bat in his hands. The whole village was sleeping under the blood-red sky, and the wind was making weird sounds while passing through the trees. But nothing could scare Rafi because he was very excited. When he neared the banyan tree, he could feel goosebumps on his arms. For some reason, the air around the banyan tree was freezing cold, and even the insects had stopped chirping. There was absolute silence, and it made him a little scared. But he threw the thought away and went towards the old well. The well was moss-covered and very dirty. It had been many years since anyone had looked into it. There were cobwebs everywhere, and some bats were flying here and there. Rafi took a deep breath and threw a stone inside the well. But instead of the sound of the stone hitting the water, there was an echo. He leaned in and then he heard it, a soft cry. "Help me," she said. Rafi jumped back. His breath got stuck in his chest. Was it an echo? Some kids playing a prank? But the cry came again. "Please, I'm cold." Rafi should have run away as fast as he could, but he didn't. Instead, he took out his phone and turned on the flashlight. He pointed it inside the well, and the light hit something pale. It was a face, a girl with long black hair and eyes as white as smoke. She looked up at him. "Don't leave me," she whispered. Rafi froze. He couldn't move or speak. All he could do was stare at the girl. She had a white cotton-type cloth wrapped around her body, but it did not cover her entire body. He could see the mud and blood stains on her legs. Slowly, she raised her arms. Her nails were broken and her arms were covered in mud and blood. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and then went out. Panic surged through Ravi. He stumbled backward and fell on the ground. But the crying was behind him now. He turned around, but she was no longer in the well. He looked around frantically, but she was nowhere to be seen. Then he heard her voice behind him. "Why did you leave me?" Rafi screamed. But nobody could hear him. He tried to call for help, but no sound came out of his mouth. In a panic, he started to run, branches from the trees scratching his face as he dashed past them. He didn't stop until he reached home. He banged the door open and slammed it shut. In the morning, he told his friends everything that happened, but they just laughed. "You're such a scaredy cat," they said. "Why would you go near the well if you thought something was there? And why didn't you tell us you were going there?" Rafi knew what he had seen and heard, but nobody believed him, so he kept quiet. That night, he couldn't sleep. That night, Rafi heard scratching outside his window. It sounded like nails on wood. He didn't dare to look outside, but in the morning, he found that his window was cracked and there was a handprint on it. It was wet, muddy, and small, just like a girl's. That day, Rafi packed a bag and left Kolhapur. But sometimes in his dreams, he sees the well. He sees her pale face and hears her voice. "Don't leave me again." Friends, this was the story of Rafi, the boy who listened to the girl in the well. If you liked this story, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can tell you more amazing stories in the future. Thank you.